Welcome to Resilient Love Podcast.
Join hosts Quentin and Brianna as they discuss tips on love, life, and
business.
Let's get into this next episode. What's up, everybody? We're back.
Why are you saying like, we not at school, Brianna? Sorry, everybody. The educator in here is coming out.
Right.
Just say hey.
Hey.
There you go. Like you had to cook out.
Hallelujah. All right, so we are live, and we just wanted to check in. We have not done a live in a while, so we were like, shoot, it's Juneteenth, we outside.
Hey, we got about how long? we got about 26. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't count that.
I'm about to say, let's not.
4 more minutes. Hold on, Professor. I see you with your glasses on, but it's okay. Hold on.
Well, for those of y'all that do not know us, I am Brianna Baker.
And I am Quentin Baker.
And you are tuned into a live of Resilient Love Podcast. This is a podcast that my husband and I do almost weekly. And we enjoy sharing.
The shade.
We enjoy sharing our perspectives, our Christ-like perspectives, because we are a millennial couple who loves God, who loves to love each other, honestly, and just want to just share our perspective with you guys and just hope to be a source of encouragement in the process. So that is us in a nutshell. This is my middle school sweetheart. I have known this man since 6th grade. However, things happen, but God is good, and we're here today to tell the story. So, babe, what's on your mind? Let's chat.
A lot, a little bit, some of everything. Where you want to go?
Well, we just had Father's Day. So shout out to all the fathers. Shout out to all.
All right, okay. I'm 1 second because I had this happens to me all the time.
Okay.
When you said that, my brain triggered. So sometimes for those that may not know, sometimes I can hear something, but it triggers something else, and it's just weird. But when you said that, my mind fell on a song by Fantasia, but I literally redid it. This goes out to all the babies. I don't know why I did that.
D-A! Yes.
We can't spell it for the fathers, though. But
D-A! D-Y!
It don't even sound the
D-A! D-D-Y!
Oh, my God.
Well, you both spell baby first and then daddy. Because it's baby and then mama. Because that's a song, baby mama. Anyway.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. Well, here's the thing, guys. So we were seeing on social media on Sunday. I saw a repost from somebody, and essentially the repost said, in short, why is it on Father's Day that fathers have to get extra commentary, such as shout out to all the active fathers, shout out to all the present fathers. Yet, did I say absent?
No.
I meant to say shout out to all the present fathers and a whole bunch of negativity for those that are absent, long story short. And so the question is this: why do you agree with the fact that on Father's Day, men get extra commentary, but on Mother's Day, it's just Happy Mother's Day, period? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, I don't know, my thoughts are kind of, it would be nice not to get all the extra commentary
Mm-hmm.
as thank you for being an active father with the
Right.
extra sound and potentially quotation marks,
Mm-hmm.
air quote. But the reason is because there's a lot of single mothers. And I think that's why in our culture, it's
Mm-hmm.
portrayed as if men run from their responsibilities,
Right.
particularly black men.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that's the only, because we are not the only, but I am saying the image that is out there now is black, particularly black men run from their responsibilities. So the extra emphasis comes from that because it's treated as if it's this one in a million type of situation where thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much for being an active father, you
Thank
know.
you.
And with mothers, the same in a way could be said, but it's just not the same.
Right.
Number one, just because we all come from a woman. So a mother is going to me, a mother is always going to get a little bit extra incentive or respect, just a different level
Mm-hmm.
because of giving birth, giving life, being the how can I say it? Being the pathway to life.
Yeah. Right.
So it's always going to be different, and you know women are at a great high risk of a lot of things during a pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
including death, unfortunately.
Right.
So it does get a different level of respect.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. I mean, you know, I'm gonna shout out the moms.
Hmm.
But I definitely wanted to just kind of highlight that comment because it did stand out to me on Sunday, which was Father's Day, how you do see a lot of extra commentary. That's the way I'm gonna word it, extra commentary around fathers. But there are men who are active, period. They do what they are supposed to do. I'm just saying it that way. So and I saw a lot of celebrated men as well, not to negate that. I saw a lot of men who were celebrated, who were honored by their families, and it was beautiful. But that, like I said, that little repost did stand out to me like, that is an interesting point that person made, that on Father's Day you hear shout out to the present fathers, but on Mother's Day you don't hear extra commentary. It's just Happy Mother's Day. So anyway, just
But
wanted to highlight that. But go ahead, babe.
what I was going to say is that for the first time this year, Father's Day should be every day.
Break it down.
Father's Day and Mother's Day should be every day because of the simple fact if think about it, that's nowhere in the Bible is Mother's Day and Father's Day. Now it does say honor thy mother and father.
Mm-hmm.
May your days be longer.
Mm-hmm.
Paraphrasing. But in retrospect, it does not say Mother's Day or Father's Day. So somebody created that. Just like somebody created um like we have a what federal holiday now, Juneteenth. Like
All right.
somebody made that a day, but before then it was a day of looking back on the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
before Juneteenth, So in retrospect, I'm just saying Mother's Day and Father's Day as a whole should be every day, not just this commercialized
There it
holiday.
go. Right, right.
So, I mean, we bought into a lot of commercialized things, just like Easter and the bunny rabbit. As somebody I know, God knows this is the funniest. This guy, he always says his good friend, a brother, but he always say we always fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
But you know what? That is such a good point. Commercialized love. Like thinking about flowers on Valentine's Day, thinking about um gifts at Christmas time, thinking about Halloween, dressing up as a character, and 4th of July, waving, our American flag. And now we have Juneteenth and what's one more holiday, Father? And then Martin Luther King Jr. You know, and of course in September you have Labor Day. I was trying to hit everybody. November you got Thanksgiving. I was trying to make sure I hit everybody's street, but my point is this: commercialized love. I love how you brought that point up because the commercialized love also translates into media. The commercialized love also translates into what we buy in the stores. So even with Black Friday, we had a whole episode about Black Friday, but thinking about Black Friday, how the whole premise of that day is what? At the research, we found out is to help get people out of the
The
black,
black,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
but not people.
the businesses, excuse me. So, excuse me, y'all. So, to find that out, that the whole premise of that day was to get people out of the black. So, they wanted to make sure that, or get them out the red. Is it get them out the red?
No, I think it's to get them. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get them out of the red to get
To
back in
black.
the. Yeah, yeah.
So, basically, they're not negative. I'm sorry, y'all, if we said that wrong. But the point
A-
is,
And if
Black
they
Friday
are
is to
negative, it's an opportunity, the biggest opportunity to bring them back in the black. At least, even if they're not in a stable, uh,
financial position.
right.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. We just want to clear that up. But bottom line, we have talked about this. Me and Quentin have really hit this point previously, but it really hit us again when we talked about Father's Day and that post, and it was just kind of like, okay, cool. Society wants to highlight women a little bit more than men, and we have Quentin really elaborated on why, But then when you talk about commercialized love, it's like society wants us, the consumers, right? We're the consumers. So the
Mm-hmm.
business folks wants us as the consumers to go buy the car, buy the flower, buy the candy, buy the book, buy the shirt, and to the point where this holiday sales is high. But then the next 10, 15 days, we back in the red.
Well, not
And
only that,
this is just behind Father's Day. I know about retail sales, and I can tell you firsthand that Father's Day weekend was not as hype as Mother's Day,
never
but
is.
but I mean there was still some shopping happening. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah, yeah. But there was
but
more
it was
eating.
not as high as Mother's Day.
Restaurant sales were high, not real retail.
Yeah,
Restaurant was high, but not actual retail. Fathers always get the same old. I ain't gonna say all fathers, so don't as I've heard before, don't indict me for this. I'm not a father per se yet, but I know how it's going. Fathers get socks, ties, hats. It's the same old gift. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen fathers' gifts level up. For those, I thank you. It's good to see that. But them socks, them ties, they don't need no more. So, but yeah, retail. That's why it was lower. I mean, you might get a shirt here and there, but restaurant, high. We saw it for ourselves. But I do want to bring back the focus just to say, don't get me wrong. Mother's Day and Father's Day is definitely an opportunity to edify your love for your mother or father.
Yes.
Um, However, don't get too caught up on the gimmick in a way. So make sure that that's just the extra day that you edify, but make sure after that day you continue to edify. Because to do something once a year and don't do it again, it's almost like why do it at all? And it's not always monetary. Like if you don't buy no, it's just it's time.
You just don't want your love to be tied to a day.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's where
all.
it's at.
That's you
That
just
and,
don't want to make a person feel funny or feel some type of way because they didn't get acknowledged on this day, but you got acknowledged. For example, you got acknowledged the day before said holiday,
mm-hmm.
or you got acknowledged the day after said holiday. It's no less. You still got acknowledged. So, but we just wanted to highlight that. So that was our first topic. Our second topic, this one might step on some toes, but so Tia, not excuse me, father, not Tia. Yes, Tia. Tia shared.
Make sure
Tia,
you indict the right person.
I'm indicting the right one. Tia Mowry Hardrick, which of course she is no longer married, so it's Tia Mowry. She shared a somebody put a clip out. It was put out on the Shade Room, so that's where we're quoting. Quentin and I did not go back to look at the full episode, so our commentary is off of a clip. So yes, it is partial information, but we're just using it for dialogue. So in the clip, Tia Mowry shares her perspective of her previous marriage. And this is a paraphrase quote from the clip. And the paraphrase quote is this. She said she looks at her relationship like a curriculum. You go through the process of learning. At the end, just like in high school or college, you graduate/celebrate. In her perspective, the relationship was the curriculum, the children was the celebration, and the graduation was the divorce. Quentin and I, obviously, we share when the news first broke out, we shared on our podcast how we felt about it. We are definitely not advocates of divorce. We are not trying to diminish or disrespect. We're just commentating on the phrase. And so I'm going to let Quentin start us off. What do you think?
Mm. Um, those are that's not a slap. That's a punch. It,
Really?
it it's a punch in the face. I mean, I don't understand what this man did from jump, from day one. It just didn't. It just didn't seem. Um, and we don't know the behind the story, but it didn't even feel justifiable. It just felt like we grew apart. Hey, it's over. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I just I wish the fight was there more. It seems like the fight is deeper after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
to like fight for your name or fight for look at me, I am finally free. That fight, if that same energy was put into keeping salvaging the marriage,
Yeah.
then maybe we wouldn't be out here commentating on this. So I guess the way it was put as a curriculum. I mean, she's entitled to her opinion, and I grew up. We all grew up with them, so it's kind of hard for us to see them in this way.
Mm-hmm.
But for her to compare it to curriculum and graduation, the graduation being the divorce, I guess my question is, what was it? What was the point of the whole course since it's a curriculum? And did you really graduate? Did you
Mm-hmm.
get a diploma or a GED? Hey, both do the same thing, but I'm just saying.
All right.
But yeah, I think that was a little unnecessary. I mean, it's like throw more darts. I just don't know what the guy did. That was a sting. Even if, you have to me, I guess I'm looking at it like, if we still have kids, especially if we still have kids together, don't put a dart.
Mm-hmm.
It just it's not a good look.
So for me, um, and I appreciate that commentary. For me, I just really look at it like, okay, I am an educator. So when you compare the relationship to a curriculum, in that perspective, if you stop right there, I will give you a check. Yes, a marriage is like a curriculum because every year you learn something new. Every every month, it ain't even every day. It's like, so in that perspective, I do gotta give her kudos. Like, yes, if you say marriage is like a curriculum, period, I would say agree. But you gotta finish her sentence. And I paraphrase it, y'all. I did. So it's not verbatim. But when you add in the celebration was the children and the divorce is the graduation, it's like, what? So yeah, I cannot fully agree. But for me, when she added in the children on the celebration, I was like, that's awesome. I love that analogy. Your children coming, celebrate your love. Awesome. Graduation. For me, when you talk about marriage as a curriculum, after going through high school, college, and upper level college, or graduate level college, I will say that every round goes higher and higher. So, what's my point? Every year, there's a greater responsibility. There could be this challenge you got to overcome, etc. And honestly, at all of these stages of life, I have a sheet of paper called a diploma/degree that certifies I have completed this. Honestly, when we got the marriage certificate, that was called a certificate of appreciation. Like, I appreciate you
You're
for
recognized by the state.
recognized by the state, right? A certificate of recognition. Like, they know these two parties are joined together. But in a spiritual sense, right? We sign a biblical contract with the Lord. And the only way we really graduate is when we go to heaven. So I just really look at her analogy in the sense of marriage is like a curriculum. And honestly, every anniversary is a graduation.
Or an evaluation.
Hey, an evaluation.
To the next graduation.
Uh-huh. Like right now, we are 2 weeks away from our anniversary. Right now is the evaluation because we getting ready to graduate to 5 years. So we about to have an award ceremony. You know how I go, awards. And we're going to celebrate. But I just feel like, that last part, that D word. And guess what? Kevin Melissa says something, and shout out to Kevin Melissa Fredericks, aka Mr. and Mrs. Kev on stage. It's really awesome that next weekend they're going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary. But in their book, Marriage Be Hard, and this is a paraphrase quote, they shared that honestly, they don't like shy away from the divorce conversation because their philosophy is divorce is on the table, but we just choose not to choose it.
Mm-hmm. I
That is
like
their
that.
philosophy. Divorce is an option, but we are making a conscious effort every day to not choose that. And so I appreciate their perspective because, as she stated in the book, it just takes that pressure off of this assumption or this idea like we will not talk about this, and da da da. And obviously, you're not advocating for that. You don't want that. But her perspective and their marriage philosophy is it really is a choice. We just don't choose it. So, with all of that being said, going back to Tia Mowry's analogy of a curriculum, I say this: in a school system, my husband said it earlier, but I'm gonna just repeat him. You really do graduate specifically with high school now, specifically high school. You can graduate with a high school diploma, or you just don't finish high school and then you go to a community college and get a GED. But the premise here is in both scenarios, you kind of broke off your process, but then you completed it somewhere else. And then the first process, you actually completed it to the end. So I just think for Tia Mowry and anybody else who may be in a position where, you got a divorce or whatnot, all Quentin and I are saying with bringing up her commentary is if you decide to get married again, marriage is like a curriculum. So I'm going to tell you straight up, like a career counselor, you need to make a decision on what you're getting ready to study. You don't want to keep changing majors. Help me, Holy Ghost. You don't want to keep changing majors. You want to stick to a major and see it to the end. And like our vows say, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, and sickness and in health, till death do us part. You want to see it to the end. And not this man-made end called divorce. And I understand there are other circumstances that lead to divorce. And we don't know her situation. So let me be clear when I say my statement.
Yeah.
But I just feel that when you decide to sign up for a curriculum, I'm using her analogy, go into the curriculum understanding that you are going to be in some classes that you don't know about. And you're going to have to learn as you go. A doctor does not just walk into his school or her school and become a doctor. They have to go through the coursework. I know I went deep on that, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But it was a good analogy until she got to the graduation.
I think that she because you have kids, I just think there's some things you should keep out of the media for
Bottom
to
line.
to protect the whole family dynamic.
Bottom line. Right.
There's a wrong and a right way to do things. To be honest, if you were gonna do that anyway, go get paid for it. You could have put that in the book.
All the details. True. True.
You,
True.
that belonged in a book. At least make somebody work for it. You ain't even making nobody. No, people don't even make people work for the commentary anymore. Put it in a book.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with it regardless because it just feels like an assault on the whole family dynamic. They have children involved,
Yeah.
and some things just ain't worth putting in the media because everything you put in the media is up for grabs. As we are commentating on it right now, not as a form of disrespect, but just as a sharing our opinion, just like she shared her opinion about her situation, the circumstance. But
Relationship. Mm-hmm.
if you go back to the popular show Love Is Blind,
Mm-hmm.
and you remember Clay and what's the young lady's name?
AD.
And AD. That was the popular one. I'm sure everybody remember. But if you go back to Clay's parents talking,
Mm-hmm.
to me, even though he did her wrong,
Mm-hmm.
she still was in she still was respectable. Like there was a common ground, like the communication was still like, hey, you know what you did. You know why we not together. But this is what we got going on right now. This
Right.
involves our son. And I think that to me, that was just a good illustration of more a little bit more effective communication. Now, granted, they did kind of flip a little bit, but still, it was a lot of emotion. But as high as those emotions was in that one moment, that was handled pretty well and respectable,
Right. You're right.
despite historical events that may have occurred.
Mm-hmm.
I won't dig.
Dun, da, da, da. But yes, so marriage is like a curriculum. I'm gonna give her that sentence, but the second part and children are a celebration, but
Mm-hmm.
graduation, you lost me on that one. But to God be the glory nonetheless. I pray that even though that decision had to be made or was made, I'm not gonna say had to be, but it was made. That the two parties and their children, and of course supporters like myself and Quentin, are able to move forward, take take it as a lesson, not as a loss, and just do what you need to do.
I gotta say one more point though.
Yeah.
I you know, what is his name? I keep forgetting it.
Who, Corey?
Corey. So Corey has Corey has is about to be one of the star casts in a movie that Tyler Perry is putting on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say this, it's gonna come full circle. Just looking at the trailer, I don't know how the movie gonna be, but just looking at the trailer, it looked like Corey did his thing in this movie. It looked like he about to get an award on this one. He got to get something. And I say this to the point of it's like he got divorced and now his acting career is like back up, or he's acting better or he's in a better position in role. It's like he's giving it more energy
Mm-hmm.
because you could feel him in character strongly
Yeah.
in that trailer. And I'm just like, I guess I'm like confused in a way on, I won't say confused. I'm just kind of like, I'll just say it, puzzled. Same
Puzzle. Yeah.
thing when it comes to like you get a divorce, and now you have more ambition, more energy, more enthusiasm about your job, your role, what you do. You show up different, you show up better. It's like, what was going on prior? Not saying he didn't do good in roles prior, but it's just like he gave this one his all. And I know a lot of times, when you're going through stuff, it turns up something inside of you because you put all that, you refocus all that stress, whatever you got going on, and you put it in your work.
Right.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe
And
that's
maybe
really.
that's, I mean, because like you made a good point. When a person is going through the situation, they begin to put energy in other places, aka work or personal development. So it could come out like that. But that's something I'm gonna be completely transparent. That is something that Quentin and I discuss with one another. We really have open check-ins, like, hey, where your head at on this topic, that topic, what needs to shift to help you. I mean, real conversations, nothing disrespectful, just what do I need to do as the spouse to help you, and vice versa, versus you done changed, or you want your spouse to evolve. And like I said, we don't know ins and outs. Now, this second half of this topic is just me and Quentin talking. But when you are, with your spouse and they're going through their process of evolving, you really got to ask yourself, do I want my spouse to change for the better? And obviously, your answer should be yes. You don't want your spouse to stay in the same spot, especially if they have shared with you in other conversations, like, hey, I desire to do this, or I'm looking at this avenue, or let's have a dialogue on this aspect. I mean, you should want those type of conversations in your home. Now, excuse me, but now we both had a choke moment. That's what it means to be one flesh. But no. So what's my point, Father? So when it comes to the relationship, I'm gonna shorten it with this. When it comes to the relationship, you should want your spouse to evolve. Quentin and I have shared, I have a 5-tier method that I am following this summer called Mission Fitness. God gave it to us at the end of last year. He gave us this topic called Mission Fitness, and we have partnered with a good friend of ours. So we made a group chat for like the first 6 months of the year, checking in on weight loss goals, etc. And this summer, God just pressed it on me to be very intentional this summer about hitting the 5 key areas. So I just gave y'all that little spiel to say Quentin has been very supportive. Quentin has been on board. I mean, Quentin is doing his version of hitting the 5 tiers. And it's just really helping us to dialogue a little bit more, get closer on this topic, etc. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's seeing, he knows the health concern, he knows the goals I have, not just in the health category, but of the other 4. And so he's supportive along the journey. And that's what I'm saying. This is just a general statement. You want to be supportive of your spouse. If the world not going to support them, the people in the house need to support them. And if for whatever reason that person in the house with you does not support you, you got to go on. If you feel led to do that thing, you got to go on and do it and pray that your spouse will get on board with you, or that you guys can come to a common ground. Just like Tabitha Brown and her husband, just for the sake of example, thank you, Holy Spirit. Tabitha Brown is a vegan. Her husband is not. But they come to a common ground. He may cut this or that, to be on a common ground with his wife. That's what I mean by that. You might not be vegan, but come to a commonality. If I want to go to a vegan restaurant, you'll sit there with me and we can buy you a piece of chicken on the way home, whatever. But I got kind of happy on that topic. But yeah, I know y'all, forgive me, I got happy. But I just really...
It's the emotional connection to it. That's why.
Yeah, I respect Tia. I respect Tamara so much. And it just hurt. I am definitely, and I know we don't know details, Father, so I'm not trying to be insensitive. But I just hate divorce. I'm going to be real. I just hate it. I mean, and it's not that cliche. Oh, they look good together. It ain't even that, because baby, there was some moments where I looked at Corey kind of tough, like, bro, you a little rough around the edges, But it was just a mere fact that, hey, y'all been together almost over 20 years, or right at 20 years, almost 20, or right at it, and you guys had 2 children together. Tia had shared about her health concerns and all of that. And then it's like, boom, we out. After all that, we out.
Man, it was just like this. I miss.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like, man, we outside. Like, that's it. So, and I mean, I respect Tia. God knows I respect her. I wish I could meet her. I truly respect her work. I grew up on Sister. I mean, I respect her in as a totality, as an actress, as a mother, as an entrepreneur. I respect her. This relationship category, I hate that it had to go down like that. But it is what it is on that. I mean, I'm just pray for her family as they process this, because I mean, I think it's been right at a year, or almost a year. So, but yeah, like, before we close out, babe, is there anything else on your heart? We hit 2 big topics. First one we hit was the Father's Day commentary, and the second one was the Tia Mowry interview statement. Is there anything else you want to hit before we go? Oh, okay. I think we had a disconnection issue, but guys, listen, Quentin and I just want to do a quick live. It wasn't quick, but it was quick for us. And we just want to check in with you guys. We hope you enjoyed the commentary. Let us know if live episodes are something that you like. And if you would, please like, comment, and share. We really want to get Resilient Love out there to more people. And until next time, this has been another episode of A Live Resilient Love. Take care.
Thank you to all listeners and subscribers. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Leave us a 5-star review on Apple so that we can continue sharing Resilient Love. Thanks for listening.